lights on. Let me see. Why do I have so much light on here in this car? There you go. Um, I'm back from Spain. Decided to do this ad hoc live broadcast. Interesting stuff happened. I wanted to recap my last month and a few days in Spain and why I went there and whatnot. Sorry. I gotta try to put some light on here so that you guys can see something. Here we go. Otherwise, it's too dark in the car. So it's 8 o'clock at night. Obviously, it's winter, so it's gonna be dark. But winter in Scandinavia, rainy and cold and dark. You probably haven't seen me wear these glasses, but anyhow. So wanted to start this ad hoc live and talk about some of the stuff that's been going on, and maybe by recapping my last month, this is gonna help somebody else. Hopefully, that's why I do this stuff. Anyhow. Came back home yesterday, overwhelmed. You know how it goes. So change your circumstances, change your environment, or change the circumstances, change your behavior. Applies to me as well. I was just telling one of my clients when I had my weekly meeting with him earlier today was that leaving is easy when I go to a new place, especially if I've been there before. Like to me, going to Spain is like going home. It's super easy to get used to that. I kind of live in my own little bubble, and but coming back home is hard. Even though, of course, I look forward to seeing my kids, who are nowadays older. But look forward to seeing my kids. But then I come home, and it's like yesterday. I have 5 loads of laundry to do. My washing machine breaks. Smoke comes out of it. I just go to a local store to get a new one. It's going to be delivered next Monday. All the hassle. Phone keeps ringing off the hook. You have all the emails all of a sudden popping up, and all these issues that you didn't know really existed. So it's like drinking from a fire hose in the beginning. What works for me in that case is that I just try to put myself back in that tiny little bubble and ask, okay, what's the thing that moves the needle the most, or moves the ball forward the most, and then I just take that action. I try to ignore my feelings and just do that. That's the thing. And now, yesterday, like I said, I came back, and the reason why I went to Spain to begin with was the fact that I wanted to take some time for myself. I wanted to put myself in a position where I can say no to distractions. So to everybody out there, so if you're ever lost in life, if you're ever overwhelmed, just hop on a plane or change the circumstances and automatically change your behavior. Say no to a bunch of stuff. I wanted to focus on work. That comes at the expense of my kids, unfortunately. They are, of course, older. I wouldn't do that to a 10-year-old or a 7-year-old, but they are almost 20 and almost 17, so they actually appreciate the time alone. And me going there, being able to say no to all the stuff that happens at the home base and focus on work only, standardizing my day, standardizing my food, eating the same exact meals basically every day. Speaking of boring, but yeah, if you're able to and willing to standardize your life and just focus on one thing at a time, you get amazing results. Of course, it's all relative, obviously. If your starting point is low, I'm still in the process of trying to build my business. I'm nowhere near done, actually, quite the opposite. But still, by being able to focus on my work 100%, not not having to worry about groceries or cooking for somebody else or doing the normal household chores, so to say, that every father, every parent has to go through, no matter how much we have help at the house or inside the home. Still, we have lots of distractions, so to say. I was able to double my total views. My comments for my videos were up 5x, and people were watching 30% longer. So my results were better. Of course, I'm struggling with the engagement. That's a known fact. But still, compared to the baseline, which was 30 days ago, I was able to get a lot of stuff done. And I wasn't any different. The fact that I was able to focus on this work that gave me the boost was the number one reason for that. And why is it then so hard for us to just do the same thing? So first of all, obviously we have obligations, and uh, by default, people are, we love complexity. We don't necessarily love complexity, but we always seem to think that the solution to Most of the stuff in life is to add. Most of the stuff in life is to add and not to delete. Let me explain. Um, for every process, for every new feature, for every law, there's a champion, there's a master, a person who put that stuff together. And when you come and you say that, hey, I want to simplify this thing, I want to make this better for everybody, that person is going to fight like crazy for you not to do that. And that's why, because adding is easy and removing feels scary to us. That's why we end up in a situation where we have 15 sweaters in the closet when we only need four, or wear four or five. And one of the reasons why, like I've said many times on this channel, life is simple but not easy. We want it easy, which makes it complicated. And if you light on your feet, if you don't carry all of that extra mass and fat, you're gonna, I'm not talking about physical, but like the clutter and the bureaucracy, you're gonna outperform the guy next to you 10 to nothing. There are careers built on adding and mastering and managing complexity, believe it or not. Being an entrepreneur, working for yourself, and having to look at this stuff on a daily basis is going to force you to really focus on those things that really matter. So, in a nutshell, if I want to summarize my last 30 days in Spain, it was basically a very good productive session. Very boring, very standard for many people. I didn't lay on the beach. I did a couple of walks on the beach. I spent every day probably anywhere between 15 and 40 minutes by the water, just enjoying it, soaking, letting it soak in, so to say, and enjoying the sun, sitting on the balcony a little bit. But other than that, my schedule pretty much was as follows. I woke up at 7. I worked until 9 when I had my breakfast at the house. Then I kept working until I went to the gym, which was 10:30 to 11. After gym, I had lunch out, so that was my second meal. Came back home, kept working, and then worked until I had dinner, and then worked a little bit after dinner. So I had 3 solid meals, which were basically standardized. Call me crazy, I know. My breakfast was the same. I had lunch at the same place out of 32 days, maybe 25 times, and my dinner was the same. That's it. If you're willing to deal with boring stuff, you can get a lot of stuff done in life. And that's what I was willing to do. And I've always enjoyed routines, and I've always enjoyed simplicity tremendously. So when I go there, it's actually in my comfort zone to be able to eat the same foods, to be able to do the same stuff over and over. And it's not a burden to me in any way. I actually enjoy that a lot. Some people can't handle that. Some of the friends that I know, they can't eat the same breakfast 2 days in a row. I've had the same breakfast 7 years in a row now, and I still enjoy it. Every time I get to cook it, I look forward to it. Some fresh berries and whatnot. Okay, what's my breakfast next? I have this banana protein pancake, one mashed banana, one whole egg, 4 egg whites, maybe 80 to 100 grams of oats, and 1 scoop of vanilla protein and a little bit of cinnamon. You mix it all up, you fry it on a frying pan on medium heat, and then fresh or frozen berries with that. You get your 50 to 55 grams of protein easily, maybe up to 60 grams. You get good carbs, good fats, some fiber from the berries and from the oats, and you're good to go. And then that's it. Those types of meals. Then my lunch was basically at a local Asian restaurant where I had rice, chicken, and veggies every day. And my dinner was either the breakfast meal second time, or then I had a tuna, um, basically egg white and whole egg type of a mix. Call it omelette as well, but and then some veggies with that. And maybe if I was still hungry, had another bowl of oatmeal. So very, very standard, very boring. My grocery shopping was the same thing. I bought eggs, blueberries, oats, bananas, salmon with some guys. So sometimes I switched or had salmon instead of tuna. So I bought tuna, salmon, and maybe some nuts and whatnot. And that's it. I mean, again, I'm willing to do that because I actually enjoy that. Not many people do that, but I think the bottom line of this is that you don't need to eat the same breakfast every day like I do. You don't have to be as crazy as I am. But I think if you're willing to standardize and operationalize a lot of those key elements of your life, you don't have to spend any time thinking about them. There's zero decisions involved, because if you are like me trying to grow your business and try to build something new that you can be proud of in the future, so-called build a legacy, that requires some sacrifices. You can't spread yourself too thin. You can't be focusing on too many things at the same time, because it's away from productivity. That's how I look at it. And like I said, I'm willing to, in my case, pay the price of maybe not partying, not, tanning myself on the beach or whatever that stuff is that so-called, I hate this word, normal people do. But still, this is my way of doing it, and I enjoy it. But I'm not saying anybody should copy my lifestyle. Quite the opposite. Do whatever feels good to you, but understand the trade-offs, because there's no solutions in life. There's only compromises and trade-offs. You get something and you have to give up something else. That's it. So just coming back from the local, what do I call it, like the home appliance store. My washing machine crapped out on me today. Smoke was coming out of it, so I have to go through the hassle of getting a new one up in my condo. It's a tight space, tight fitting. Luckily, my contractor comes tomorrow, and he's gonna do some electrical work, because there's a drying rack that has heating built into it right next to it, and I have to get that removed first. So anyhow, good times. That's the stuff that goes on. What else? Wanted to keep this short and sweet, and let you guys know what's going on. So I've been home for a day now, and like I said, overwhelmed as fuck, which is fine. I know that those feelings go away by taking action, by focusing on the work that I can do. So that's good. No people online right now. I didn't announce this again. I did this exact same thing last time, so maybe next time I need to do a better job at announcing my lives. But if you're watching this after the fact and you made it to this point, thanks for doing that. And then let me know, what's that one thing that you say no to delete the extra complexity from your life, to focus on single, so to say. I'd like to hear back from you. And of course, hit the subscribe button if you like my content overall. I'm gonna head home now and say hi to the kids and maybe eat some dinner. So until next time, bye.